The final question type that we will be trying out is the calculated question. This by far is one of the most advanced question types to set up in PolyLearn. The first few steps for this question type are the same as for most. You will need to enter the name, question text, choose the default mark, and set feedback for the question. The question text for a calculated question, however, is much more in-depth than the previous question shown. With a calculated question, the text must contain variables. These are formatted differently than regular text in order for PolyLearn to randomly vary values amongst each student attempt. Next, you will need to input the formula that is needed to calculate the correct answer. This formula will contain the variables included in the text. The formula does not, however, need to contain every variable from the text. You may choose to include extra variables in the text that are not needed for the solution to further test the student's grasp of the material. After inputting the formula, set the grade. Next is the option to change the tolerance. This will set how much the student is allowed to vary from the number given by the formula for the answer. The tolerance is set using two different options, which are the amount and type. The type will affect how the tolerance is calculated. If you want to allow the student's answer to vary by actual digits, then set the type to nominal. If you want to allow the student's answer to vary by a percentage of the actual answer, set the type to either relative or geometric. The correct answer is set to display 2 decimals by default, but this can be changed to show more or less decimals, or to display a specific number of significant figures instead. Feedback for the correct answer can be added here. The units can be set in this next block, and they can either be used or excluded from the answer. If units are required, then they will need to be filled in, and there are other options to set for the units. The next choice to set will be the penalty amount. This number only comes into play when using adaptive mode. As with previous question types, the default sets this to be 1/3 of the grade, but you can change this to a different amount. Lastly, you may optionally add hints to the question or add tags. Click Save Changes when finished. This next page contains some features that are more advanced than the average user will need. Therefore, we will just click Next Page. If you would like more detail on these options, look at the written tutorial on the PolyLearn support site. This final page is needed to set the values for the variables, or wildcards. You will need to set the range that the wildcard will be within. The wildcard must be a number within the range of values, so if the range is changed to no longer include the wildcard, the value of the wildcard must be changed. Also, you can set here how many decimal places are included in the answer. The distribution option will set how the values are created. Log uniform will make most of the values stay towards the lower end of the range, while uniform will just spread the values out evenly. These options set how the values are created. The most effective selection is forced regeneration because it will create the most randomized values. Now, select how many sets of values will be created. It is possible to create more values or to delete some values, so this selection should just be a good amount of values, such as 20. Click the Add button now, and the new values will be shown. Click the Save Changes button once finished, and the question will be completed. As before, the new question will need to be added from the question bank contents. There will now be 4 questions in the new quiz. This concludes our basic coverage of creating a quiz. For more detailed information on the quiz module, or for information on the other question types, refer to the written tutorial on the PolyLearn support site.